Hey there, Trailblazers, I hope you guys are all doing well. So, just a few hours ago, we have received even more new exciting information regarding some of the upcoming characters coming to Honkai Star Rail in the near future. This includes a possible new DOT-related support unit expected to release in version 3X, even more new kit information regarding TRIBBIE's in-game kit, and also new info related to ANAXA as well. So in this video, we're going to discuss all of the information related to the rumored DOT support character, as well as all of the details surrounding TRIBBIE and ANAXA. But before we begin, let me just give you guys the usual disclaimer that everything presented in this video is based on info taken from various different sources, and it's possible that it can be further changed in the future at any point in time. So please try to take all of this with a grain of salt. With that all out of the way, let's get started without wasting any more of your precious time. So since most of you guys probably clicked on this video because you want to know more about the new DOT support and ANAXA, let's start with that first before moving on to the early kit details that we have gotten for TRIBBIE. So according to a news source on Reddit that posted just a few hours ago, who stated that the developers for HSR have plans to strengthen the game's DOT mechanics in the major updates before the end of version 3X. Although he is not exactly sure when this supposed plan will actually be implemented. He then further states that contrary to current speculation, the character ANAXA will actually be a regular crit-related DPS character, rather than the DOT-focused support that most people in the community expected him to be, and that the character Cypher will actually be the more likely candidate for the DOT-related support character. He then states that Cypher is expected to be released around version 3.3, but since it's a character that's so far out, it's hard for him to confirm anything at the moment. But what he does know is that Cypher will be a limited 5-star character. Wow, the fact that we're finally getting a new DOT-related character after a really long time is some very exciting news indeed. Considering Hoyo has been neglecting the archetype since the release of Black Swan way back in version 2.0, in favor of follow-up attack and break-related teams, it's very nice to see that they'll start supporting the archetype once again. And if Cypher actually does turn out to be the rumored DOT-related character, I do wonder if she'll simply be another support for the existing Kafka DOT team, or a new DOT enabler that power creeps the former with a team centered around her. But hey, we'll just have to wait and see until we get more information about her. As for ANAXA, him being a crit-based DPS is actually kinda surprising, not gonna lie. While the source didn't specifically state whether he is a main damage dealer or a sub-DPS similar to characters like Jiaoqiu and Black Swan. I do, however, think it's likely that he is a sub-DPS, considering the previous kit info we got about him was related to debuffs and additional ice damage at the start of the enemy's turn. So it's still possible that he is meant to be used as a secondary damage dealer in other teams rather than having to build a team centered around him as the main DPS. But hey, that's just my own personal speculation, so please don't take it all that seriously. So that's pretty much all of the information we have regarding both the new DOT-related character, as well as details about ANAXA as well. Next up, let's now go over the new interesting details about TRIBBIE's in-game kit. So according to another news source that posted some early kit descriptions for TRIBBIE's base kit, Light Cone, and Eidolons, as well as some early kit multipliers for some of her abilities. Let's first start with TRIBBIE's skill, which is a team-wide buffing ability that grants the entire party 30% resistance penetration against all elements for an X amount of turns. The duration of this ability is reduced by 1 at the start of TRIBBIE's own turn. Next is TRIBBIE's ultimate. It is said to have a huge energy cost of 180. Activating it creates a type of barrier, and while this barrier is active, whenever an enemy unit is attacked, the enemy with the highest HP takes additional damage equal to 12% of TRIBBIE's max HP. It then deals quantum damage equal to 30% of TRIBBIE's max HP to all enemies. Moving over to her talent, where whenever any ally activates their respective ultimate, TRIBBIE immediately performs a follow-up attack. This follow-up attack then deals quantum AoE damage equal to 18% of TRIBBIE's max HP to all enemies. Then there is also TRIBBIE's 3 major traces. Starting with the first trace, where at the start of the battle, TRIBBIE restores 48 points of energy. Trace 2. While the ultimate is active, TRIBBIE's max HP increases by 12% of the total max HP of all allies. And finally, Trace 3, where after triggering the additional damage from the ultimate, TRIBBIE's damage increases by 24%, stacking up to 3 times. All in all, judging from this early description of her kit, TRIBBIE actually seems more like a sub-DPS rather than an actual Harmony support in all honesty. I mean, the only real buff/support part of her kit is the 30% all-type elemental resistance penetration that she gives to the entire party through her skill. Other than that, pretty much every other part of her kit is related to doing damage to the enemy rather than providing any kind of supportive utility. And considering she is a Harmony unit which are meant to represent the supportive character class in the game is pretty baffling to see. And for a unit that is focused more on doing personal damage rather than supportive utility, her damage multipliers and self-buffs seem to be pretty low at the moment, making the damage-related parts of her pretty underwhelming as well. So I do hope in the upcoming beta updates, they either give her more supportive utility, like all of the other Harmony supports that we currently have in the game, or make her damage numbers substantial enough to make her actually worth running in a team. Because as it currently stands, she neither has a lot of good supportive buffs or good damage, which unfortunately makes her a pretty underwhelming unit to actually use. Moving over to her signature light cone, which states that when an ally attacks an enemy, they gain up to a X number of stacks. Furthermore, when the wearer of the light cone activates their ultimate, all stacks are then consumed. Each stack then grants a X% of crit damage to all allies and restores an X number of stacks of energy to the wearer. This is actually a very good supportive light cone. Assuming it doesn't get changed in the future, the activation condition of using the wearer's ultimate can be easily achieved by almost every single other Harmony unit in the game, giving your entire party basically free crit damage and also energy restoration to the wearer. Lastly, let's quickly go over TRIBBIE's Eidolons before wrapping up this video. Starting with her E1, which increases her ultimate's additional damage to 120% of the original value, and an extra instance of additional damage is triggered. E2, when triggering the ultimate's additional damage, TRIBBIE deals an extra X% of true damage. E4, while the ultimate is active, TRIBBIE's attacks ignore X% of the enemy's defense. And finally, E6, TRIBBIE's ultimate's additional damage is now increased by 700%. So that's basically all of the current information that we have regarding the new DOT support coming to the game in version 3X, as well as some kit details regarding TRIBBIE and ANAXA as well. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel to keep yourself up to date with all the latest HSR news and information. That's it for now, so I'll see you in the next video.